Good everyone, welcome to Tutors. We're going to continue our series on sedimentary depositional environment, and on today's episode we're going to talk about the braided bar deposit or the braided deposit. So we started with talking about the early stage of the river, and this kind of deposit, which is the braided bar, is associated with the mid stage of the river, associated with the mid stage of the river. Now, what's characteristic of mid stage of the river? The mid stage river life cycle in this kind of river is associated with high and moderate energy level. That means the energy of the river is fluctuate between high and moderate, and it is a multi-channel system. Compared to the early stage of the river where it was just straight. As we've explained in a former video, it consists of a multi-channel system. Okay, can you see this? So these are how it is. So these are deposits in between it, and we have the river channel moving like this sideways, continue moving. This guy can, if there's on that deposit here, it moves, Can you see that? So that's what we call the multi-channel system, and it deposits sandbars within the channels. Can you see? Within the channels, between two channels, the deposits like that. And compared to the what do we call it, the early stage of the river. The early stage of the river is a single channel, and in this early stage of the river, the steep kind of slope where it's been, the kind of terrain that favors it is kind of more high steep slope. Okay, it's very very high, a very very strong steep slope. That is for the early stage. But in the mid stage of the river, the kind of terrain that favors it is a less steep slope. That means the one that is kind of less is steep, but not really that high. You can see it's kind of slant, but not that horizontal entirely. So it's characterized by both erosion. So in this place, you have both erosion and sedimentation. Because of the high energy level of the early stage of the river, there is no really sedimentation like that. So we have erosion is the more active and predominant there, activity there. But in the mid stage of the river, we have more of erosion and sedimentation also in it. Now, what are the characteristics of the braided depositional environment? Okay, where depositional environment, characteristics of this kind of deposit is that it consists of the channel lag deposit, Now, what do we say channel lag? Lag. What is called channel lag deposit? Now, in the deepest part of the channel, which is the talweg, deepest part of the channel, this is channel, that's why the channel, the talweg. The kind of deposits that will be in the deepest part of the channel are coarse grains. What I say? Coarse grains. And I'll say coarse means big. So coarse grains. That means large grains are in the deepest part of the channel. And these are what they call channel lag deposits. They are big. So these are deposits that are present. So the channel lag deposits will be at the beneath of the bottom of the channel. Then later you can have your trough cross bedded sandstone. Okay, trough. We usually name this, I told you about facies. Facies is some total characteristic, either physical, biological, okay, or chemical, that makes it different from its adjacent rock. Yes, you can see that we have a sandstone here, sandstone here, but they are different because this one, the structure that is formed in this cross-bedded sandstone is a trough cross-bedding. A structure that's formed here is planar. So different species of sandstone. We have the trough, we have the planar, we have the ripple laminated. So these are the characteristics, these are the facies that are present in a braided depositional environment. Okay, so there's one thing you need to note for braided bars deposits is that for braided bars, they are ephemeral. What I say? Ephemeral deposits. And the kind of deposits, we call them bar deposits. You can call them bar deposits. Bar deposits. The kind of deposits that happens in a braided bar, we call them braided bar deposits. We call them bar deposits. Bar deposits. Okay, so those are the things that happen for braided bars. Another thing you must know about braided bars is that braided bars are ephemeral deposits. They are ephemeral. Now, when you say something is ephemeral, it means something that doesn't last. Okay, that deposits that are temporal. They are temporal in nature. We are saying that something, it can fluctuate between high and moderate energy level. So it's very very high. Maybe there's a deposition that was formed during the moderate change, and probably the velocity of the river increases. Velocity of the river increases, some part of this thing will be eroded. They could also be eroded. Okay, so they are temporal, they are not always there. So the braided bar deposit that is here today might not be there tomorrow. So it's an ephemeral form of deposit in nature. So they can be asked, okay, what leads to the okay, can you explain what you mean by braided bar are ephemeral deposit? 2 marks. So the ephemeral deposit due to in nature due to the sudden changes in the velocity of the flow. So the kind of energy level determines the while it is ephemeral because the fluctuation between high and moderate energy level. Good. So when you are sketching your log, I've explained in the log video how to log your data. So this is just a sketch here. So most times when we are talking about channel deposits, when you're trying to do any fluvial environment, we usually start with an erosive base. Can you see the way I draw this? An erosive base. We start with an erosive base. So an erosive base, after erosive base, we have the channel like deposit. That is where we have a quartz grains. Okay, so the part that we eroded, and on top of it, we have the channel like deposit. Then we have the trough cross bedded. So you can see this structured designs that we have. This is for ripple laminated. This one that look like F. Okay, this one that look like T that have something on top. Not really like T, but it's slant T. This one that look like curve. That is trough cross bedded. So when you are drawing your sketch of probably the rock that is there, you know, it is finally upward. You can see it's reducing as you are going up, finally upward. So you have to make sure that even though you are naming, you know, for logging, you have to name it. This trough cross bedded, which is you have to draw your trough inside to get your full mark. Planar cross bedded, you have to put the planar sign. Ripple laminated, you put it there. Then you can draw the signs that are showing that it's getting smaller. Okay, kind of smaller, kind of smaller. Uh, okay, something like that. And this one triple laminated. Actually, ripple is more associated with fine grains. Ripple is more associated with fine grains. Okay, so there are different styles of sand. So this is a fishing model. A fishing model. So a fishing model for ripple this is just a sketch. Okay, just a sketch. But normally we'll still do a question and analyze how to draw a standard fishing model, but this is just a sketch showing us the names of each of the fishes present in a braided deposit, deposit. Okay, so stay tuned, share my videos to your friends. The next video we're going to talk about the meandering depositional environment. Thank you.